North-South Connection, Podcast Network listeners, welcome to the most extreme menage a trois of violence you'll ever experience, the No-So Extreme Three-Way Dance Podcast. I am JT. As you can see, I am joined by Matt and Jenny. How you guys doing?
So extreme in the new year.
You can see me. My God.
Real.
That's what I look like? Fuck.
I thought y'all were a fucking
like when Peter
robot.
Griffin was in 3D or whatever. When he
Fucking hell.
Good to be here, live and in living color. So if you're listening to us, be sure to check out our social media feeds, etc., or northsouthconnection.com to link over to our YouTube page if you want to watch this in video form instead. You can see us talking to you. If you prefer to listen to or watch podcasts that way, you can do that now. Pretty neat, huh?
Super neat.
Pretty
so
cool.
Excited.
Super cool. Get the ECW shirt, Jenny.
Hardcore.
I gotta get some more ECW shirts, I guess. If we're
gotta get some Mark shirts.
Macho Man's not gonna cut it. All right, on this show here, we are going through the history of ECW. We started in February 1994. We've made our way all the way to the fall of 1997. So we are cruising on along. We got 4 episodes of TV here tonight. We're going to cover, starting with September 16th, 1997. Fire us up. Shane Douglas is backstage. He's gushing over Francine. Says even Rick Rude does his dirty work just for one night with her. And he has the proof that he's ECW World Champion. The belt and the girl are his. He's the master of wrestling destiny. And he is the franchise. So, Matt, any quick thoughts on this opener?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to have Shane kick off the episode. He is the world champion after all. I mean, he didn't say much of anything, but it's Shane Douglas. Anything he says at this point is pretty much going to hit. So,
I mean, he's not wrong. He's got the gold. He's got the girl. He's on top of the world. Rick Rude does his dirty work. I don't know. He's living his best life right now.
Dirty work. Opening animation. Joey's in the nest. He sets up the night ahead. He talks about Terry Funk's final match this past weekend in Amarillo at Funk's WrestleFest. Of course, that is an infamous event.
Sure is.
Featuring the one and only Dennis Stamp as a referee. Immortalized on Beyond the Map. The ECW roster was there. They all honored him in the ring with his family. Paul Heyman grabbed the mic and paid tribute to the legend and what he and his family did for wrestling. Tommy Dreamer was there. He handed Funk an honorary ECW world title, and Paul declares him the lifetime ECW world champion. This took place on 9/11, which I always find to be funny. Coincidental. Pretty cool moment. Of course, Bret Hart fought Terry Funk on that show. Stamp was the ref, but it featured a lot of ECW competitors. And Funk would remain retired for all of 3 months. I think he's on Raw in December. I know that.
Yep.
He returns as Chainsaw Charlie at the end of December.
Well, I hope he enjoyed his 90 days of retirement.
Yes. They do a big show in Dog and Pony Show, and he's there. He is done from ECW though. I don't think we see him again there at least. So.
No.
He goes to WWF straight to WCW. I think. Well, not straight, but I don't think he comes back here between.
I don't think he has another match. That I could say for sure. But
right.
he may pop in every now and then. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't remember when does he show up in WCW, because he's only in WWF until mid to late '98. I think Fully Loaded is his last show.
I want to say I don't think he's in WCW again until 2000.
Okay, yeah, so maybe he does pop back in because he does have that year and a half. I guess we'll see. All right, let's head right to the ring as we have the match that was set up last week, and that is John Kronus taking on Big Dick Dudley. The champs are in the ring with Joel Gertner doing his thing. Introduced to the Dudleys as Big Dick is set for this challenge. We clip ahead to Dick mauling Kronus with strikes and a big suplex. We clip again as Kronus shoves Dick into a chair that Devon is holding. Kronus goes up and hits a 450 splash and picks up the win. All 3 Dudleys get in the ring and beat up Kronus until New Jack comes out. Makes a save with a bucket of weapons to a pop. Really, this was just highlights. The story's all the post-match where it looks like Kronus and New Jack may have found love in a hopeless place here in this opener. So I went no rating. It's not really a match, more of a segment. But what do you think of this marriage between Kronus and New Jack, Jenny?
I don't hate it. Why not? I mean, you got the remnants of these 2 dominant teams, and their buddies left them, so just put them together. They had the same kind of garbage style, and I don't know. Seems like a good match. Joel's definitely on his fucking bullshit with some of the stuff that he pulled out of his ass. Introducing himself as the skinless banana in your tropical fruit salad of love.
Good God.
And also made a dig at the referee, calling him a dirty old man who made a pass at me backstage. Just what the hell? Joel just attacking this guy. Did he learn nothing? Did
Nothing.
he learn
He's
nothing?
learned nothing. That's
No.
for sure.
Fucking dumbass. I didn't rate it either, but it was kind of fun, Matt.
Yeah, I didn't rate it either. I like that they are still pushing Kronus, even though his boy Saturn left. Like, they easily could have forgotten about him, so I'm glad they're doing something with him. I think him and New Jack could be really fun, a really fun tag team. It's like, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, the match was nothing. The highlight of the match for me was the powder guitar shot to Devon. I will always pop for that. So, but yeah, I didn't rate it either.
All right, so we'll see where this leads with Kronus and New Jack if they stick together going forward. I think it makes sense too because neither guy's
Crojack?
Really yes, Crojack.
Newus.
Crojack's better. Neither guy is really going to probably do much as a solo act. They need tag teams. We know that, right? I mean, if the Gangsters and Eliminators are done, I mean, who's left really? The Dudleys and the FBI and Rotten Balls. I mean, that's it, right?
Rotten Balls. Right? Oh my God! How did I not think of Rotten
We don't have much else going on, so. All right, Joey talks about the unlikely union of New Jack and Kronus. He calls Kronus the better half of the Eliminators, and says
that was rough. I was like,
that was a dig right there.
Come on, man.
He says they'll be challenging for the tag team titles, and sets up our next match as Chris Candido takes on the debuting Jerry Lynn. So another new addition here, late in '97. Lynn makes his debut. Joey rips WCW because they made Jerry Lynn wrestle as Mr. JL under a mask. Compares him to Chris Candido, who was also a victim of corporate wrestling. Candido has Bam Bam Bigelow and Francine with him. We ease into a lockup. We trade arm control into a stalemate. Trade off some more mat work and a quick flurry by Lynn into a victory roll for 2 and a drop kick to send Candido to the floor. Bigelow and Francine console Candido. He regroups and heads back inside. Candido gets a victory roll for 2, tries another one, but Lynn pancakes him, gets a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Candido goes out, and Lynn flies into him with a plancha. Lynn buries Bigelow with a baseball side. He hits Candido with one as well. It tries a pescado to Bigelow, but he gets caught and thrown into the post. Francine rakes his eyes. Joey knows that Lynn made Bigelow a factor, and now it cost him. Candido slings him back in the ring, works through some strikes, and it's a nice suplex. But Lynn blocks a second one and counters with his own. Candido slams Lynn and hammers away, goes to a chin lock, puts Lynn on the top rope. Lynn blocks a Rana, comes off with a sunset flip for 2. Candido comes back with an enziguri for 2, goes back to a chin lock. Lynn ducks a charge, flips Candido to the apron. Candido hoists him to the floor. Lynn trips him up, shoots him into the stage. They head back onto the stage, but Lynn shoves Candido down, barrels into him with a somersault plancha. Bigelow meets Lynn with a big body block. We reset in the ring as Candido powerbombs him, heads up top, but misses a swan dive. Lynn comes back with a back elbow, starts to heat up with a series of quick strikes. Lynn gets a top rope Rana for 2, but gets shoved off the ropes when he tries another one. Candido comes off the top, but Lynn catches him with a powerbomb for 2. Lynn misses a charge and bounces off the corner. Candido loads him up and hits a double underhook superplex for the win. Really fun match. I thought both guys delivered as expected. It worked well with some good strikes mixed in with some aerial attack. Bigelow also interfered the right amount, didn't dominate the bout. Candido keeps rolling. Lynn is a great addition if he sticks around to fill out the depth here and give us some matches like this. Is a great use of him. So Matt, I went 3 1/4. I thought it was a really good match.
Yeah, I actually went 3.5 on this. I thought this was fantastic. I mean, Lynn is such a huge boost to this roster right now. Like, they kind of needed another guy like this who can go with Candido and just do their thing. And I thought this was really well done. There was a lot of great moves in this. When they're flying off the stage, and like you said, the Bam Bam interference was kept to a minimum, so that was really well done. And I thought the finish was fantastic looking. That underhook suplex was fantastic. So it shows you that Candido, while no longer on the blow at this point, I mean, I'm assuming he was on at least a little bit just to kind of, take the edge off, but he wasn't on as much blow as he was last week because he wouldn't have been able to function. So, 3.5 for me. Like, give these two guys like 20 on a pay-per-view or in the ECW arena. I think it would be fantastic. So, yeah, Lynn's debut could not have gone any better. So, 3.5 for me.
Dude, this match was really good. Like, it is so weird to go from a Candido just fueled by cocaine and being insane to just he is so focused in this. Like, you don't get any of that weird manic stuff. Like, none of that comes across in this wrestling. Like, he buckles down and they fucking go in this match. I love Jerry Lynn. A side effect of my TNA watching is my love of Jerry Lynn. He has an unfortunate haircut and color that looks exactly like Shane Douglas. I'm hoping that if he stays around, they fix that pretty fucking quick, because it's bad enough when just the one guy has that haircut going on. He even wears yellow too. Like, no, dude, you have to switch that up. But this was excellent. This was really good. They go up on this little stage, and Lynn just hip tosses Candido just casually right off the stage. That looked so rough when he landed. They're really well matched.
Yeah.
Lynn had no hesitation. There was no, I don't know what he had been doing before this, but he was not scared. He was not intimidated. Like, he is just a really, really fucking good wrestler, and I really like this match. I did 3.5 as well.
Yeah, and you can see we're, kind of reloading on the workers, right? We added Al Snow. Now we've added Jerry Lynn. So, like, we're trying to bolster up the mid card to upper card of guys that can work and put these matches on, which has been a hallmark of ECW since the beginning, right? Whether it was the Malenko and Guerrero run, Benoit, into the Lucha guys. Like, we've always had kind of this crop of workers that could get in the ring and just go. So we're back at it here. Fonzie and Sabu are backstage. Fonzie's ranting about Sabu beating Sandman at the ECW arena. In comes RVD. He tells Fonzie to calm down. He says, type A behavior can increase heart risk. You better take a Valium. RVD tells Fonzie to talk about him, but Fonzie says he's talking Sabu. RVD says all the fans are coming for a rare Saturday night appearance by him and Sabu too. Usual great shtick from these guys with RVD. Always making it about himself and then apologizing kind of to Sabu, but then still making it about himself. So they just have the whole act is down pat.
They just let Fonzie go a little too long in the beginning part of that. I was like, God damn it, I'm going to turn this off.
Shut the fuck up. Fonzie, calm down.
Yeah. When RVD came in to save him, thank God.
RVD is
so funny.
He's so good at that smug shithead role. It's fantastic.
He said, I said some people like him too.
Joey reveals that RVD and Fonzie will be taking on Tommy Dreamer and Beulah this Saturday night at the arena. So that is a match right there. We get a highlight package from Michinoku Pro, and Joey says the Great Sasuke is back in ECW for 3 nights in October, including October 18th at the ECW arena. So get your tickets as they go on sale this weekend. So this is pretty good hype for Sasuke's return. Joey hypes up this Saturday's card as well. See how he does in his return. Taz is out in the parking lot. Says he and Dreamer have to show RVD and Sabu and Fonzie that while they kiss Vincent Bischoff's ass, they'll see what Extreme is all about, and he's going to choke them out. And that brings us to our next match, which is the one that was set a week ago, and that is Tommy Dreamer taking on Taz. Big time match. Taz gets his wish. Tommy challenges him for the TV title. Pretty good buzz. They have their usual intense entrance. We get some stalling as Taz barks at fans into a lockup, trading a standing switch and armholes as Taz breaks him down with a side headlock. Tommy comes back with a couple of throws and a drop kick to the back of the head. Taz bends him in half with a T-bone as Tommy bails out. Taz follows, hammers away, but Taz runs him to the post, smacks him with a chair. Back inside, Taz hits the Northern Light suplex for 2. Tommy gets a sunset flip for 2, but eats a hard clothesline. Tommy grabs a chair and whacks Taz and drops him on it with a leg sweep. Taz comes back with a belly-to-belly, puts Tommy through a table with a T-bone, but Taz's head hits the table on the way down. Sabu and RVD come in and attack and ends the match. They wipe both guys out and parade with the banner until Sandman comes out, but he gets waxed as well. Taz eventually recovers, at least to Sabu, I should say, hitting RVD with a chair by accident. Tommy hits Sabu with the Death Valley driver. Beulah and Fonzie get in the ring. She kicks him in the nuts and DDTs Fonzie as we fade out. This was fine. It was kind of basic until the finish, which made sense. They're really adding heat to the ECW arena to protect both guys. There wasn't a lot behind it. Both guys always bring it. The post-match was good as well. And again, they're just really trying to hype the arena match that we're going to see next week, or coming up at the taping between these guys. So yeah, I don't think they deliver much. I went with a standard 2.5 TV grade for this. But again, I don't think that was ever the goal, was to deliver much. It was for these fans in this setting, it was good, but all eyes are going to be on the arena now for this tag, Matt.
Yeah, this is one of those matches where you kind of already knew how it was going to end. Like you kind of had a feeling RVD and Sabu were going to interfere at some point, and it was just a matter of how long were they going to let Dreamer and Taz do their thing before it happened. Like it's one of those cliched, the fans are watching the entrances type of matches. Like we all knew how this was going, but I thought the stuff they did before the interference was perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing outright spectacular, but like I thought the suplex through the table was really well done with complete with Taz smacking the shit out of his head into the table. I thought that was really well done. But yeah, I mean, and it was a pretty quick match too before all the shenanigans happened, so it was perfectly fine for what it was. So I went 2.5 on it too.
Wasn't this the big match that Taz asked for?
Mm-hmm.
This is where he was.
Yeah, but this was more heat. RVD and Sabu broke it up and ruined it. Ruined what it was cooking, and then.
Was it?
Well, maybe for him.
I mean, they're doing this thing where everybody gets these huge intros now, which I thought it was just because this is a title match, but it continues on. So like, I don't know how I feel about that. It eats up a lot of time when you're watching these, like doing all these intros.
They're definitely trying to increase the spectacle. It feels like.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing, I think they're really trying to add, like you're seeing this live. We're gonna make it worth your money. You're gonna see some stars. You're gonna get the big entrances. Like, I think they're trying to make it worth, trying to get people out into these buildings.
I definitely get it. It was interesting to see Tommy sort of walk Taz through this match because it definitely seemed like he was holding back a lot. Tommy was, and that's why I never really felt like it was cooking up too much. That Northern Light suplex into a bridge is very gorgeous when Taz does it, though. So I did the 2.5, and was expecting all the run-in bullshit at the end. That DDT, though, by Beulah to Fonzie really popped me.
All right, let's get to our awards then. Best match, I think, was pretty easily Lynn and Candido.
Yep.
Yes.
Worst match, Kronus and Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
Best moment, I went with Funk's retirement. I mean, it was kind of cool, I guess, getting to see that.
It was interesting because when maybe the last time I watched that documentary, I didn't know any of the ECW guys really. So it was a very different perspective when I saw the clip this time, and they all seemed very awkward. So it was
beyond the mat. We don't really ever see that footage. Like WWF doesn't ever really show it.
Yeah. So it's cool to watch. It's a little awkward, but it's kind of funny.
Right. Would have meant more had the retirement stuck. But,
Well, that's my most 90s as well as Funk's retirement. You guys have anything different for that?
No, that works.
Okay. Rising, I went Kronus, Lynn, Candido, and Van Dam.
Beulah.
Yeah, I would put Beulah there.
Falling, I went with Big Dick. Seems to be slumping.
I hate it when a big dick falls.
It's a bit flaccid. Yeah,
a little flaccid. Yeah. Shrinking.
Sad.
Card. Final grade, I went 6.5 out of 10. It was above average episode. Again, we're in this range right now. We haven't had that killer episode. We've been kind of between 5.5 and 6.5 for our last full, handful here. But this felt like on the better end of what we've seen lately.
Yeah, if it had been like maybe one more good match, I could maybe do the 7, but I'm gonna do 6.5.
Yeah, I went 6.5. Really, because of Candido Jerry Lynn. That was really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, let's head to our next episode. That is September 23rd, 1997. We open with a match, and that is Spike Dudley getting another shot against Bam Bam Bigelow. We open with Bigelow and Spike in the ring. Joey says this is the loudest the arena has ever been.
Come on,
Bigelow. It's pretty loud. Bigelow press slams Spike hard to the mat. Joey reminds us that Spike pinned Bigelow here last time in the arena, and the crowd is calling for it. Bigelow smashes Spike with a headbutt, hard whip to the corner. Spike bounces out. They bang heads on the rebound. The crowd is now split with their chants as Spike comes slugging back at Bigelow, but Bammer hammers him down. Bammer slings Spike to the corner, crushes him with an avalanche, and then looks and points to the crowd. We get over here chants as Bigelow tries to pancake Spike, but he counters with a drop kick. Bigelow avoids a cutter, but Spike floats into a DDT, heads up top. It's a flying clothesline for 2. Spike knocks Bigelow through the ropes. He barrels through a table. Back inside, Spike goes up top with a chair. He flies into Bigelow for 2. Spike heads back up, but misses a flying chair shot this time and bounces off of it. Bigelow drags him up and hits a nasty suplex on the chair. Bigelow again points to the crowd, and this time he press slams Spike clear into the fans, but they catch him, and they crowd surf him around the arena, which is just a classic moment instantly, just insanity. Joey says ESPN should check out ECW for the X Games. Bigelow drags Spike back in and finishes with a top rope headbutt and celebrates with a cartwheel as Spike crowd surfs back out of the arena. An awesome squash. The atmosphere was insane. Joey wasn't lying. Spike is great bouncing around. Bigelow is so good as a bully heel, just throwing him around. The crowd was just nuts. The crowd surfing was so much fun. It's an iconic ECW moment when they do it. Awesome way to start the show, Johnny. 2.5 stars for me.
I did a fuck it 3 rating on this for the crowd surfing. That was excellent. For the Marco stunt, that's the original move. At one point, Spike tries to do like a spear or something. He just bounces off of Bigelow's belly. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. All of this is good. Like, it might as well be 5 stars. The crowd was
not. Yeah,
the crowd just makes it for me. And even Spike, he climbs up and jumps off and hits Bigelow that chair. I mean, he tries. Bless him, he tries, but gets his ass whooped in the best way. 3 stars, Matt.
Man, I love these matches between these two guys. They're just so fun. And I mean, they're nothing more than squashes, really, but they're just super fun to watch. It's just see Bam Bam just chuck this other human into a fucking sea of people twice. Like, oh, it's just super entertaining to watch. And yeah, I mean, I think it also, I mean, Spike's been getting the shit kicked out of him, but I think it kind of makes him too.
Just
just like Mikey.
He's a cult figure. Yes, yeah, he's a new Mikey. He really is.
Right, being able to take this fucking beating and keep coming back. So yeah, it's just a super fun match. So I went 2 3/4 on it.
It's funny how separated from the rest of the Dudleys he is.
It is.
Like, he might as well not be a Dudley. Like, he's just
right.
So removed.
Spike Whipwreck. Just call him that.
All right, we got our opening animation. Joey's in the nest. He says the footage tonight is from September 20th at the ECW Arena, and the show was so eventful and great that they actually canceled an upcoming TV taping just to show everything from tonight over the next 3 weeks. The show will be released on home video and we call it As Good As It Gets. Joey then shits on Lance Wright's recent string of performances and complaints. He says Wright showed up tonight in Taz's colors, complaining that Taz wasn't fired from his attack. We see fan cam footage from a parking lot where Taz then jumps Wright and gets pulled off by security. Any quick thoughts on this continuing Lance Wright Taz feud?
Well, Lance Wright is still here, and I'm not happy about it. Finish the job, Taz. God damn it.
As Good As It Gets. Ain't that one of your favorite movies there, Justin?
No.
No?
It's complicated is what you're thinking of.
It's the same thing. It's the same movie.
How dare you?
It's the same movie.
Ridiculous comment.
What do you mean? Yeah, I like that. I like this. I don't know why Taz
does not have Alec Baldwin creeping in a window and As Good As It Gets.
I don't know why they have to feud, but I guess if Taz just wants to beat up Lance Wright, that's fine.
All right, we got a slow-mo replay of Bigelow throwing Spike into the crowd. Then we head to the ring for our next match, which is some tag team action as Rotten Balls are out to the ring. Axel Rotten Balls Mahoney to take on our old favorites, the full-blooded Italians. Okay, let's get to our Italian word of the week. As usual, in the FBI are here, and that word tonight is Mafanculo.
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 Mafanculo means motherfucker. Forward here tonight.
Wow.
Which I can't believe we haven't done this one yet.
I know,
yeah.
Probably would have done that one at some point.
Use it in a sentence.
Mafanculo, my head hurts.
That was weak.
Mafanculo, all my rotini.
That's the most Italian thing that's ever said.
Our three favorite paisans dance to the ring as Joey says they had a good time at the NYC Feast of San Gennaro this past weekend. It's a pretty infamous Italian festival in New York City.
Really?
They look for grits marinara, he says. Which is pretty great. Joey says Harley Race was defeated for the world title by an Italian American in 1981. He spent his time idolizing Bruno Sammartino, but hopefully he knew about Tommy Rich. He could have also idolized him as well. Pretty great. Rotten Ball stomp out the chairs, and new matching gear. We get some stalling and some long entrances and intros, like you mentioned, Jenny. We're getting the whole boat here. Joey says they brew rosé moonshine in Nashville, Italy. Guido and Ball start off with some feeling out and a slap from Guido. Ball shoves Guido around as the crowd is all over the FBI. Balls catches Guido on a charge. It's a follow-away slam and works the arm. Axel tags in and batters Guido with strikes. Guido pulls him to the corner. Axel fights both guys off and throws Smothers in while cleaning all three out. Balls comes in and double up Guido and clean house. Guido trips Axel from the outside. Smothers pounces and gets to work. The FBI quick tag and double team to keep Axel grounded, but they can't finish him off. Smothers cranks a chin lock and then releases and hits a back fist and a side kick. Guido tags and they try a rocket launcher, but Axel dodges and tags Balls, who bangs both guys around, then hits a double clothesline for two. Things break down all for a brawl with Smothers on the floor. Balls hits a Nutcracker Sweet on Guido to pick up the win. Tommy Rich, though, tried to get Guido's foot in the bottom rope, and the referee missed it. Rich shows the ref, so the ref restarts the match, and Guido rolls up Balls for the win. Balls and Axel grab chairs, and the referee, Jeff Jones, gets the mic and tells Balls he will not hit him with a chair, says everyone makes mistakes, and then he mocks some fans as other refs guard him. Jones says Balls has to respect him. There's no more commissioner at ECW, so he's now the man. He's the highest form of law and order and the best referee in the United States. That last comment pisses off his comrades, so they say, hey, look, relax. Let's get out of here. You're not the top ECW ref. Jones slaps the senior referee, who then decks him back with a big punch. That gets a pop. Balls then explodes and wrecks Jones with a chair shot. And that's that. Pretty fun match. I'm all for the FBI going over. The finish was kind of weird. As usual, when ECW tries these things, sometimes they're kind of convoluted. Just have the FBI cheat or lose. Crowd is into this, though. The FBI teamwork is fun. No real weapon violence, but it held up for a straight match. The post-match is chaotic, but it looks like yet again, right? We talked about this previously with Lance Wright. We now have another slimy, wimpy heel referee with a big mouth. Again, it feels very much like Fonzie. We got Wright doing the same gimmick. But it's over. I mean, the crowd is into it, so we'll see what goes on with Jeff Jones. But we're gonna have another crooked ref, or is he just kind of ballsy? Don't forget, Gertner started this way too. Like, we didn't mention him last episode, right? He was like a tough talking ring announcer, so they love this gimmick of like these small wimps that talk tough and get their shit kicked in. So 2.5 of the match, Matt, and we'll see where Jeff Jones goes. Besides screwing around on Ring of Honor's website and never posting the Kevin Kelly show.
Yeah, I went 2.25 on this. I thought it was just a notch below average. I thought parts of it were super boring near the beginning in particular. I felt like it took forever to fucking get going. And yeah, I mean, it ended up being perfectly fine and turning into a fairly decent match, but boy, it took them a long ass time to get there. At one point, the FBI hit this slop ass rocket launcher off the top, and Joey said that's why they never reached the moon. Such a great line. Oh, God, that killed me. But the Jeff Jones thing is super interesting too. Like, I'm curious to see where this goes. Like, we're gonna have crooked referees now, along with everybody else in the fucking company being crooked. Like, I'm hoping it's not like one thing too many with this crookedness, I guess, happening. So
a lot of crookedicity.
Yeah. I think that's a Police album. But yeah, so I mean, this was perfectly fine for what it was. So I went 2.25.
Did Todd Gordon really have everybody such in line that, as soon as he's gone,
yes,
the referees can just
no one's in charge. It's chaos.
Right.
They're not scared of Jim Molyneux or whoever the fuck. I don't know. That was weird. Maybe just a one-off, but maybe not with the way that this Lance Wright thing has been going. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. I guess I'm glad that FBI kind of won in their weird way that they kind of won. But I'm really into Rotten Balls as a team. I really like their new shirts. I couldn't really tell what all was involved in that design.
It looked like some sort of like family seal or family crest or something.
It looked like a heart, like a sword or some shit.
That was big at.
Oh, maybe that's it. I need to look that up. But anyway, I liked it, and I did 2.5 on this one.
It's a cult of crookedicity. Joey's in the nest. He hypes up tonight's show as possibly the greatest ECW event ever. We even get every bit of it over the next few weeks and teases all the things we'll be seeing. Head back to the ring as Kronus and New Jack, the Gangstonators, take on the Dudley Boys. Joel Gertner's rocking an Emmett Smith jersey, makes a joke about a 15-year-old girl, and Joey says, Memphis is that way. Great line. Gertner mocks the end of the Gangsters and Eliminators and brags up his boys with very long introductions. After a break, Kronus and New Jack storm the ring with weapons. They ignite a brawl while Natural Born Killers is still playing. Typical street fight with these guys, weapons and strikes pouring. Out of all fours, they take turns mashing each other. Kronus and Bubba are both bleeding within minutes. Dick inserts himself into the brawl as they spill to the floor. New Jack passes a table into the crowd. They surf it to the back for him. A lot of crowd surfing tonight. Kronus thrusts Dick into the fans with a huge backdrop. In the back of the arena, Jack flies off the nest with a huge leg drop through Devon on the table. He is just out of his mind. In the ring, Bubba is working over Kronus, but New Jack makes it back in time to save. Joey says the Dudleys are the only team to ever beat the Gangsters and the Eliminators. Kronus heats up and wrecks Devon with a guitar as Bubba gets knocked outside. Kronus hits Devon with a 450 to finish, and we have brand new tag team champions in the Extreme Survivors of New Jack and Kronus. A great moment. That was a nice choice. Both guys hung around despite these troubles. Kronus, I don't know if he got it off or not, but you know what? He could have just left or tapped right when his buddy left. He's still working his ass off. Reward him for sticking around. Reward New Jack for being here and doing this. It was a cool moment for these guys. Usual stuff, but the heat was extra baked in from this crowd. And the moment itself. So I ended up going 2 3/4, Jenny. I thought it was more about the moment than the usual walk brawl that we got, but it was cool to see these guys get the gold.
I'm with you on all accounts. 2 3/4 stars. Wild weapons. I guess the tag titles are. There's not any like rhyme or reason. It just kind of feels like they just kind of go with the flow and put that wherever,
Well, you know what?
It's very reactionary.
But the TV and the world title are pretty stable, so I think it doesn't hurt to have some titles that can change at any minute. Like at a house show, at a TV, like wherever you are, you may see the tag title. Everyone's kind of even. There's no dominant team.
Right.
We have a dominant TV champion in Taz. He's not losing probably anytime soon. And Shane Douglas just won the world title, right? So he's probably going to keep it for a bit. So it's like, why not have the tag titles kind of be the pinball? Because all these teams are presented as equal anyway.
I don't mind it really. I kind of like it because all the matches are pretty samey. So right. I guess.
Yeah, why wouldn't they all be on the equal footing when all they are is hitting each other with weapons all the time?
So I enjoyed the moment and thought it was well done, Matt.
Yeah, I went 2.5, but I mean, a lot of the same thoughts as you guys. There was one, for some reason, Gertner said that Bubba is Dudleyville's most eligible bachelor during his intro, which, boy, oh boy, if he's the most eligible bachelor in Dudleyville, God help us all.
It's worse than Revere, kid.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, this was pretty much your standard tag team brawl. Joey also at one point said that this was the largest crowd in the history of the arena and that they installed new bleachers. So that pay-per-view money obviously rolling in. So I thought that was
well, it looks new too, right?
It does look new.
It's like it just feels refreshed.
There's a grime, but it's also more polished. It's a polished grime, I guess, if that's a thing.
Polished turd, yes.
Right, exactly. But yeah, New Jack hits the balcony dive in. It's a good thing he has pinpoint accuracy because there's a non-zero chance he could have ended up in somebody's lap with that dive if he misjudged it wrong. Because, good God Almighty. But yeah, I mean, and like you said, this tag title change does feel like it's a reward for their loyalty for sticking around. So it makes perfect sense that they would give them the belts. So yeah, I mean, it was a fairly standard walking brawl stuff. So the highlight was the balcony dive. So 2.5 for me.
And that was my best match of the night. I'm on with that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Rotten Balls and FBI.
Yep.
For worst, best moment, I went it was tough. The tag title change is cool, but the Dudley crowd surf is pretty iconic. So.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
like a big time ECW moment.
I'm going to give it to Spike, yeah.
Most 90s were both tied to that, so I went with the idea of crowd surfing. And also Joey mentions the X Games, which I think had just started. It was like the 95 maybe.
Yeah,
it actually started right here in Providence.
Yeah, right.
Federal Hill was where they had some of the
Oh, really?
downhill
Good
racing
God.
and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I would say they were no more than a couple years in, and they were a big deal for a few years there in the 90s for sure. Do they do them anymore? They don't do the Extreme Games anymore, right?
Yeah, I think they do.
Oh,
I
do
think
they?
they do, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you
right down the road from you in Providence.
No, not here anymore. It's definitely not
Yeah. They're driving by Vendor Ravioli on the Federal Hill.
I could go for that right now.
Sounds awesome.
I had an amazing sandwich last time I was there a few weeks ago.
No.
All right, stock rising. I went Bigelow, Spike, and the Gangstanators.
I can't say that name. Can we come up with something else?
Crowjack.
Extreme Survivor.
I like Crowjack.
Yeah, we'll go with Crowjack.
Okay.
It sounds too much like Rojacks, though, for me and Matt. Sure.
Yeah.
Rose and Jack. Stock falling. I went with Lance Wright and Mr. Jones.
We're gonna have to rename the award after Lance Wright soon.
Or fucking Jeff Jones. Fuck that guy.
All these mouthy underlings. What the fuck?
All right. I went 6.5 out of 10. I had it in line with the last episode. We got a cool moment. The crowd is hot. We get the Spike thing. So, like, you know, it was on the same footing in a different way, right? Like the last one kind of had a couple matches, but this one was like big on atmosphere and moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always just love being back in the arena. So,
yeah, they're the best episodes by far. You know, you're getting some much bigger stuff and a hotter crowd for sure. Or Queen. I think Queens is going to climb. I think we're going to see.
Yeah.
That becomes like their second home. But...
Elks becomes their second home for sure. And that crowd is always molten hot too, just like the arena. So
those are our two spots.
Yep.
All right, let's head ahead a week to September 30th, 1997. Shane Douglas and Francine stalk out with the ECW World Title to kick off the show. We're still getting the action from As Good as It Gets. Francine is in her bag. She's stalking around. Shane grabs the mic, says they can all thank him for putting a 53-year-old piece of shit out the pasture. He gets mainly cheers for that, actually. And then he says, you fans of turncoats, we should all be bowing to Terry Funk if he was here. Shane says Rick Rude could not be here tonight. He's flown the ocean to London with the WWF. And, of course, that would be for one night only around the time this was filmed. He said he doesn't care for Rude's choice of companies, but he'd rather be in London or Pittsburgh than the ECW arena. He calls the fans backstabbers and a bunch of Shawn Michaels. He became champion without the fans, and he'll keep it without them. I think Marcus was writing these promos.
Yeah, I know.
Douglas asked Francine who Rude set up for tonight's opponent because the rumor is this challenger has trained for 3 months with Rick Rude. And Shane says to bring the stupid ass out. So, Jenny, what'd you think of this opening promo?
I wrote down, you're all a bunch of Shawn Michaels. That sounds like a terrible insult, right?
No.
You're all a bunch of world champ legends in your field.
Millionaires.
But,
right.
Yeah,
it just signed like the biggest contract in history like 2 months before this.
Fucking losers, all of you.
Did you like it? It was good, though.
It was good. And
usual Shane.
And Francine's wearing like a curtain or something, so that looks good.
Yeah, this was very good, but man, I'm still not sold on this whole Rick Rude Shane thing. Like, I need to know more about where this is going because I feel like the fact that it just keeps going, there has to be some sort of payoff. They can't just fucking forget about it. It's got to be going somewhere. So hopefully it's soonish. You know, we'll see where it goes, but.
Well, let's see where it goes right now as we get our opening animation. Douglas is in the ring, and he'll be taking on Phil LaFon, who's back with Doug Furness in his corner. Of course, we had last seen Furness on LaFon, and what for us, Jenny? It's been a while now. It seems like it wasn't that long ago, but
I was just thinking that.
Well, and you, Matt, you were here too. Yeah, so it was what, like late '96, I think, right before they went to WWF.
Yeah, it was right around November to Remember, I think.
That's like a year already for us, though. It flew by. I feel like we just talked about them versus RVD and Sabu.
Right.
I've also been talking about them in Wrestling Warzone here on North South Connection, where Chad and I are doing the Monday Night Wars. They're just showed up in the WWF, so we'll kind of bridge this gap between these two runs. They had started a heel turn, and but then they got in a bad car accident. I think both of them were in the car accident with Sid and there's someone else I think in there. And then so they were. I think Furnace was still hurt at this point. LaFon had bounced back. They would stick around. They go back to WWF because they're at Survivor Series, and then I think they're done. So I don't know if they go back to All Japan from there or what, but. Douglas isn't thrilled. He tries to get out of the match. The fans chant "Welcome back." Douglas says Furnace has a busted shoulder from the car wreck, and he'd rather wrestle him.
That was
no
so
go.
fucking funny.
It was really good.
I was
like, how are you? You're fine. It'll be LaFon instead. Furnace says they've been there for 11 months, but didn't know they had to come back to ECW to find the biggest pussy in the business, and he doesn't mean Francine. Shane attacks with the bell. LaFon kicks him and brings the heat with a big flurry of strikes and drives him to the floor. LaFon gets to work on the midsection, goes to an abdominal stretch, gets 2 on a savate kick. LaFon goes to a chin lock. Joey says you can see the All Japan style coming through is Rick Rude training as opposed to the WWF style. Shane is the jawbreaker, sets to target the neck as he takes over. LaFon comes back and gets 3 near falls on crucifix pins. LaFon hits a side kick for a cover, but Francine slaps him to break it up. LaFon catches Shane coming in from behind, grabs a sleeper. Francine comes in with a low blow to turn the tide. Shane gets an atomic drop and a low drop kick. The crowd is all over Francine. LaFon bails out, but Shane follows and shoots him hard to the railing. Back inside, Shane hooks a chin lock and a head scissors, tries to crank and break another neck. LaFon twists free, but Shane kicks low and kicks away. Fran says something that gets beat for 3 seconds. God knows what the hell she was saying. LaFon floats out of a suplex, gets a roll up for a close 2 count. Shane cuts it down with a clothesline. Shane goes to a camel clutch, tries a monkey flip, but LaFon counters and hot shots him on the turnbuckle. LaFon slugs away and hip tosses Shane into the corner. LaFon slams Shane, hits a second rope senton for 2, chops away and hits a spin heel kick for 2. LaFon shakes off a boot, hits a tiger bomb, but the ref is sleeping and late to count, so Shane kicks out. Furnace complains on the apron, so Francine comes in, but LaFon takes her out with a tiger bomb and covers Shane for a great near fall. Candido's in, but LaFon fights him off, so Furnace comes in, takes out Shane, and helps wipe out Candido as well. Furnace snaps suplexes Candido and barks at him. As Bigelow stalks out and gets in Furnace's face, they throw down with a big slugfest that ends with a Furnace DDT. Candido clips LaFon's knee, and Shane drop kicks it. Shane tries a whip, but LaFon collapses. Shane goes to spinning toe hold. LaFon puts him into a cradle for 2. Shane shifts. He rolls on top of LaFon and bridges into the win. And Joey wonders who Rude will dig up next to challenge Douglas. Pretty good hard-fought title defense here. Had a lot of strong action in the ring, some fun chaos at the end. The triple threat, of course, always pays off for Douglas, but he did win it on his own in the end. I think it's a good use of Furnace and LaFon. LaFon's a credible challenger, but they're beatable. Like, who gives a shit? We've seen them lose here before. Shane's strong reign continues. Triple threat is red hot, Matt. I went 3 1/4 on this. I thought it was, again, if for as shaky as the storyline is, the matches that have come out of it have all been pretty good.
Yeah, I went 3 stars on this. I thought this was really, really well done. Another good title defense for Shane. Started slow, but I think by the end really picked up. And once the triple threat interfered, I thought it was really firing on all cylinders. I feel like you saw Shane do some stuff you haven't really seen him do in quite a while, like the figure 4. I can't remember him doing in a very long time, and even like winning with a cradle. I thought, like, when's the last time Shane won with a cradle? I feel like every time it's like the belly to belly or something like that. And I mean, the cradle did look a little shaky, but I think it kind of worked. So yeah, this was a pretty good match and a good spot for LaFon, like you said. We'll see how long they stick around, keep doing the back and forth thing. So the last 5 minutes of this, I thought was really good stuff. So 3 stars from me.
What does Joey call it? Like that rolling snap neck thing that he keeps trying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he kind of rolls and the guy grabs his head. Like he did that a couple times. That was kind of different. Don't usually see him do stuff like that. Francine and the incredible amount of heat that she gets from the crowd is like a huge factor in these matches now. Like, they were all over her ass. I smell fish chants. And even her just walking around on the side, like constantly being berated. But Shane was really, really good in this. Like, he is continuing to just have these really good matches, and I don't know. I'm on board. Let Rude dig up whoever he wants to at this point. Like, whatever the reason is for it, I really don't care anymore because we're turning out these really good matches.
Right.
I did 3 1/4 stars.
All right. We get quick highlights of last week's show. I'll hype next week's as well, including the TV debut of Jerry Lynn and the ECW debut of 23-year-old prodigy Just Incredible. He also sets the stage for what's to come tonight. The Pitbulls wheel out Lance Wright. Wait, what? What? The Pitbulls wheel out Lance Wright. Yes, the Pitbulls.
Never heard of them.
Wright's in a neck brace. Joey says the Pitbulls were released 3 months ago, but this could mean trouble that they're showing up here. We never heard of this release, but it has been a while since we've seen them.
Right.
Pitbull once has his partner, and he were set up. ECW and his fans set him up after he broke his neck for them and got nothing in return besides 3 letters, one from his mother, one from Lance Wright, and one from Lance Wright's mom. Last week, the Pitbulls and Lance were by the pool with Vince McMahon. This is where they started to lose me with the Vince stuff. Like, I know Wright is supposed to be friends with it, but like now the Pitbulls are at the pool with Vince. Like, I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like, no way.
Vince couldn't pick out the Pitbulls in a fucking police lineup.
You mean
Anthony
you don't
Durante
believe that?
is not at Vince McMahon's fucking pool. Vince said, if you want to be treated right and be a man, come to the WWF to get the big money. The crowd's not happy with how this is going at all. They start to sing goodbye, but Pitbull 1 says they aren't ready to leave. Vince told them the ECW is full of paper champions. The top paper champion is the midget Taz. Pitbull 2 gets in the ring, and Pitbull 1 says back in 1994, he kicked Taz's ass, and Taz wasn't man enough to accept the challenge from Pitbull 2 for the TV title. Pitbull 1 knows Taz is not a company man, and he's friendless. So if Taz has the balls, come out and take him on. Taz comes out. Pitbull 1 reassures Lance Wright that he'll protect him. Taz hops in the ring, and straight at Pitbull 2, they start throwing down. Pitbull 2 hits a headbutt and a powerbomb as Wright tells him to kick his ass. Pitbull 2 celebrates and comes right at Taz, but Taz ducks and folds him with a T-bone. Chokes him out as Wright says Taz is the best. He made a mistake. He's better than Ken Shamrock, Steve Austin, and Vince McMahon, and he can kick all their asses. Taz flips the wheelchair over and sets up a table, gets a barricade, and T-bones right through it to a huge pop. Out come the police. They yell at Taz because he's not supposed to touch Wright. They get in the ring with nightsticks and tell him to leave, but Taz takes a cop down with a Fujiwara armbar. More cops come in and pull Taz off, but the locker room empties to help Taz out and calm him down. In comes Sabu. He slaps Taz as he's being held back. Taz breaks free and takes Sabu down. They brawl until things get broken up. Sabu sticks around and batters Blue Meanie, Danny Morrison, and Nova, and then he clears the ring. And that is that. Just a wonderful, wild scene. Look, Matt, you weren't here for the real heyday of Pitbull 1 when he was just a Pitbull. Jenny knows I love this motherfucker when he's ranting like a nut. Like it was like my favorite 1994 ECW stuff was Pitbull just being an animal backstage. The tag division is depleted, so whatever issues they had, if they're back on the scene, like I'm okay with it. Taz could be in trouble. I mean, Lance Wright's dead. The Crop is screaming in pain, but we'll see if Taz goes to the Clink. But I didn't mind seeing the Pitbulls back here. I actually thought the break helped them. I thought they were real aimless after Francine turned on them, and they were kind of they felt like Eliminators light for a while. So it was kind of like, and then Pitbull 1 did the whole neck thing. That was most of his last 7 months or so in the company. So they had the terrible match at Barely Legal. So it's like they needed the break, I think. But I thought this was a pretty good return for them to be Wright's muscle. Like if this is the payoff to him to work with them, I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it either. It just came out of nowhere. My sweet Pitbull 1 just on the mic, just
back and angry,
going insane. I lost it when he's like, I only have 3 letters. My mom, Lance Wright, and Lance Wright's mom. Like, what the fuck? Like, did he just come up with that? Was that prearranged in his mind? Because that was genius.
So great.
And then when he called Taz a midget, I was like, oh, that's not smart. Then comes Taz, of course, because somebody said Taz, and there he is. But the highlight, I loved all of this, but the highlight for me was Lance Wright saying, "I'm sorry, Taz. I made a mistake. You're better than Ken Shamrock." And then Taz kicks him out of his wheelchair and just fucking fucks him up, puts him through a fucking
That's the
table.
best part about Taz. He doesn't like tease or like, look at this. Like, he just fucking walks over and throws the guy out of his wheelchair.
Yep.
I was howling. That shit was amazing. So yeah, all this was really good. Enjoyed it a lot.
Maybe putting the Pitbulls with Lance Wright will make me like Lance Wright. There's a small chance because, and look, I already kind of like Lance Wright because he gets the shit kicked out of him by Taz every week. He's growing on me. Like
That's the point.
Just because Taz keeps killing him, like just keep killing him and I'll like you more. It's very simple.
It's like Kenny.
This whole thing was a lot. There was a lot happening here. But the Pitbulls are here. He's ranting and raving like a madman. I like the touch of Pitbull 1 being the one to wheel Lance Wright to the ring with the broke with Lance Wright with his broken everything he's got going on right there. So I thought that was a nice,
very Pitbull. Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was a very nice touch. And then Taz comes out and just wrecks shop again as he does. And then we still got the Taz Sabu thing going on. So Taz is embroiled with a lot of shit right now, and it feels like it all kind of came together in this one segment. And I thought it was really well done for it. And I think it really picked up once Taz entered the fray. So yeah, good stuff here.
Was it
if we get
security
Pitbull
guards
or ranting on the mic, I'll take it.
Were they cops? Were they shoot cops, or were they security guards?
No, they're workers. They're not shooting anything.
Okay.
Or they're just like paid security that they bring in. Yeah, but I think anyone taking a bump is probably a worker, a local worker. Was it Pitbull 1 that bit Jason back in the day? Or was it Taz that bit Jason, right? It was when they were feuding. It was like Tasmaniac and Pitbull were like having like an animal fight. Bit Jay. Remember Jason got bit in the back?
Yes.
Anyway, Pitbull used to have these amazing rants where we wouldn't even look in the camera. He'd just be screaming like a fucking nut. All right, back to the ring we go. We get our match that we didn't get a few weeks ago in Revere as Sandman takes on Sabu. Sabu's pacing the ring. Sandman heads out. He's got a beer in hand, butt in his mouth, rocking a wife beater. Sandman's already bleeding from the can, hitting him in the head during his entrance. We get the full intro. It was a lot of lead time. Sabu opens with a chair shot, ducks the cane, and hits a slingshot leg drop for 2. Sabu stomps away as Joey reminds us this was supposed to happen on pay-per-view, but Sandman got hurt. Sabu hits a springboard Rana, nails him with a stiff clothesline for 2. Sabu nails Sandman with a chair, knocks him outside, flies into him with a plancha. After a break, Sandman suplexes a table on Sabu outside, hangs him across the guardrail. Sandman knocks him off the railing with a guillotine leg drop. The crowd is rocking. Sandman grabs the ladder, suplexes it across Sabu, flings him back inside. Sandman brings the ladder in with him, smacks Sabu with it, and hits a slingshot senton for 2. Sandman sets up the ladder in the corner, suplexes Sabu through it. Sandman hits a power slam, spikes the ladder on Sabu, heads up and hits a top rope senton into it, which is crazy. Fonzie's losing it. Sabu's really hurting here. Sandman grabs his cane, just wrecks him across the head, turns into a Fonzie chair shot after that, though. The cane shot was just gross. Sandman is back up with the cane. Sabu is bleeding from the side of his face. Sandman swings again, but now Sabu counters with a fireball in Sandman's face. Sandman's writhing in pain as medics and wrestlers file into the ring to check on him and close us out. A really fun brawl with a great atmosphere. Sabu was good, but Sandman was really great in this, mixing up his offense, keeping things moving along. The cane shot was just disgusting. The fireball was cool, too. We haven't really seen that out of Sabu here. And Fonzie's crew always has that trick up their sleeves. It's like Piper and Polo, always pulling something out at the last minute. Sandman's in trouble yet again. Sabu's hot. I went 2 3/4 of the match, but the post-match was really, really good, Matt.
Yeah, I really like this. I went 3 stars on this. There was a lot of this match that was insane. Like, these people should not be doing this to themselves, but yet here they are doing this to themselves. It was just brutal. That fucking senton onto the ladder where Sabu was underneath, it was just brutal. And this is the first match between these two. Now you have to assume they're probably going to have like 5 or 6 matches with each other. Right. So by the time the 6th match comes around, I'm just going to assume that it's going to be like a literal death match and someone's going to die.
Very likely.
You're throwing out a fireball in the first fucking match between these two guys. Like, good Lord. Just a war, a complete and utter war. So just super fun stuff. So I went 3 stars on it, Jenny.
I did 3 stars too. It's amazing. We haven't seen them before, really. Mm-hmm. And they don't disappoint because, like, in the beginning, I thought Sandman was wrestling so resigned, like, like he was already taking his ass whooping, you know. And then, because this one, there's commercials or something with this one, so it sort of clips out, and when you come back in, Sandman is literally throwing a table on top of Sabu. I'm like, well, I guess he kind of warmed up in this time. So then it was just balls to the wall. And Sandman don't give a fuck, man. He just does shit. Goes, gets a ladder. Let's fuck with this now. And fuck Sabu up with it. The cane shot to the face. Holy shit. I thought his eyeball was going to pop out. The only thing you can do after that is a fireball. I mean, so it's only logical. Goddamn, they went balls to the wall. I did 3 stars.
All right. Best match of the night was Douglas and LaFon for me.
I think I'm gonna go Sabu Shane. I went 3 stars on both of them.
Yeah, I was a 1/4 star higher on the Shane match, but I don't know.
I mean, I had Sam and Sabu worse, but it's a toss up, obviously.
Right.
Best moment, I went the 2 of them. I went Taz flipping Wright out of the wheelchair and throwing him into the table, and then Sabu's fireball.
I went with the fireball.
Hard to argue with those.
Most 90s, Rude going to one night only, flying to London for one night only.
Yep.
A fireball? Was that very 90s?
That's like 60s.
Like the dream?
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't he just throwing fireballs in the 60s?
Right.
Lawler after that, too. Stock Rising, I went Triple Threat, Furnace and LaFon, Pitbull won, and Taz.
Basically everybody but Lance Wright.
Everybody really, yeah.
Well, Falling, I went with Rude. He's not even there.
Right.
Pitbull 2, who kind of looked like a goof in that whole thing.
Oh, y'all always be hating on Pitbull, too.
He looked kind of goofy. Pitbull 1 was holding
He
it down. Wright, of course, the cop, who just got wrecked.
The cop.
Yep.
Morrison, Meanie, and Nova, who also got their asses kicked.
Ken Shamrock, because Taz is better than him.
Yeah. World's most dangerous man. All right, I really like this episode a lot. I went 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a nice. You could feel the bump up in overall presentation.
Yep. Same.
Big time. Yep, me too.
All right, let's get to our last episode of the night, October 11th, 1997. Joey's in the ring, welcomes us into the show, hypes up the ECW arena, brings out Jason after saying he has no other option of who he could interview. We get a little Jason video montage as he struts out. Joey's getting itchy, of course. He's scratching. Jason asks Joey, what's the matter? He says he has a European fungus rash, and Jason says he feels bad about that. Jason says, the ECW fans have been wonderful. I spent days thinking about a contribution to the fans. And Joey says, all right, yeah, you're leaving. Good, all right. Jason says he's not leaving. He wants to give appreciation, so he came out to give them something wonderful to look at. He also introduces a superb athlete above all of ECW, his another newest find, and that is PJ Walker. Heads out to the ring. Joey says he knows him, but Jason says it's not PJ Walker. He's not the Man of War either. He is just incredible. And Joey says, yeah, he's held back by the clowns that are there for years. Jason says, yes, it's just incredible. That's his name, Justin Incredible. Joey likes the name. Incredible says it's not only his name, he's also incredible anytime he gets in the ring. And then he pie faces style, which is a pretty funny introduction. Jenny, what do you think of the debut of Just Incredible?
Obviously, I didn't get the PJ Walker thing, but I figured
that was his name. He was a jobber.
Yeah, I figured that. Jason said that European fungus is going around. Joey says, yeah, I hear it gets around. I think Justin Incredible looks sort of very much like a penis. Just a whole general penis shape.
A penis in jorts?
A little bit.
Pretty much.
Maybe that's what the P in PJ Walker stands for.
You never know. And job for never
penis
mind.
James Walker.
Penis job Walker.
Penis Jubilee Walker.
Anyway, him shoving Joey did not endear him at all to me, Matt.
Oh, just incredible. I get it now. Finally, the national hero of my people of Portugal comes to the ECW, the Portuguese man of war, comes here to save ECW. Thank God he's finally here. It's great. I was wondering when he was going to show up, but I'm glad he's here now. Joey cringing and scratching fucking kills me every time he does it. Whenever Jason comes out, and I thought this was a pretty good way to introduce PJ, Aldo, Justin, Incredible.
All right, we get our opening animation, and that's our next match is Jerry Lynn back again, taking on Justin Incredible. Right into this match, Credible's working over Lynn, a showdown between two potential building blocks, maybe. Credible goes to the eyes, hammers away. Joey talks about Credible's transformation to more brash, aggressive style Lynn takes Credible down, slugs away, reset with boring chants. Lynn cranks a side headlock as Joey says Credible will have to be incredible to ditch the memories of PJ Walker and Aldo Montoya. Jason hooks Lynn's foot, so he barrels into him with a Pescado. Credible flies off the top. Lynn dodges. He lands hard on the railing. I don't think it hurt. Lynn crotches Credible on the railing and bulldogs him off of it. Lynn heads up top and nails Credible with a great plancha. We head back inside. Credible takes over, hits an atomic drop and a hard clothesline and elbow into a seated abdominal stretch. Credible hits a seated drop kick as we go to break. When we come back, Jason is bragging. Credible is cranking a headlock and then a sleeper. Lynn counters with a jawbreaker. Credible comes back with chops and eats a boot on a charge. Lynn ducks at Enziguri and hits a DDT and side slam and a middle rope leg drop for 2. Credible ducks a body block off the middle rope, heads up top, hits a missile drop kick for 2. Credible gets a Northern Light suplex for 2, but misses a top rope splash. Lynn gets a bridging German for 2 and another near fall on a Tiger Bomb. Lynn hoists Credible up top, but Credible blocks. He gets a top rope sunset flip powerbomb for 2. Credible goes back up. Lynn crotches him and hits a top rope Rana for 2. Lynn sets up a tombstone, but Credible floats through and crushes Lynn with a corkscrew tombstone and finishes with a swinging DDT. That's a really good match. Strong debut for Credible, who balled out with this new look and new gimmick, nice addition. Lynn again showed up well. He's smooth and crisp. These guys really should bolster the back end of this roster if they stick around. Plenty of room to grow for both of them as well. So Matt went 3 stars. I thought it was a very good match. I think they have more in them too as they get more comfortable in the setting, but they're nice additions. We talked about it. Storm, Lynn, Credible, Snow. Like, we're really starting to bolster.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I went 3 1/4 on this. Just a really fun match. I like that they took the 2 newer guys to the roster and threw them together and see what they could do. And I think it showed already that they have really good chemistry. They mesh really well together. I thought everything they did looked really well, really good. But Jesus God, those jorts. Holy hell. I know it was 1997, but holy hell, they were something. They weren't even like, they were like 3/4, like they were Capri jorts, for God's sake. It was a fucking choice. Good Lord. But yeah, this match is really good. Stop me if you've heard this before. Jerry Lynn's fucking great, as it turns out. Who knew?
What a discovery.
I knew.
Jenny knew, see? But yeah. Just a fantastic match and a good debut for Justin Credible. Another good debut, just like Lynn's debut. So, yeah, 3 1/4 for me, Jenny.
They are nailing these debuts right here, and mixing them all together really well. Like, I really like this match. I don't guess I've ever seen a Justin Credible match or PJ
Aldo
Walker.
Montoya match?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Well, Walker, when he was Walker, he was pretty much just a jobber. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Then he became Aldo Montoya.
So this was, pretty refreshing for me. Like, nice. Good job.
I hope you like him because you're about to see a lot of them.
Well,
you're about to see a lot of Justin Credible.
Yep.
Well, like, to me, the thing that stood out with this is the combination of their speed. They're both very quick, and they do the power moves too. And then they sprinkle in a little bit of flying off the ropes. So you get a little bit of everything. And they all just really hit all of their spots in this. A corkscrew tombstone. Not sure that I've seen that very many times.
That probably could have been the finish. Probably didn't need the swinging DDT.
Wondered why it wasn't. But that was pretty sick. So I did 3 1/4 as well.
Matt, I was surprised he showed up as early as he did. Like,
yeah, me too.
I thought it was maybe like 98.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like middle of 98 is when he pops up. So this definitely surprised me when I saw this. Like, wow, already.
Well, Joey does give Jason credit for the discovery. Credible's only 23 years old, so they're going young, which is cool too, because we haven't seen a ton of that with them. Like, I mean, Candido, they remind us all the time he's only like 25 or whatever, right? So like they're definitely digging, younger at this point.
Well, Jerry Lynn's always been 45.
All right, we go right back to the ring for another match. Again, 2 young, great in-ring guys. As Chris Candido takes on Lance Storm. You mentioned earlier, Matt, but Candido's shredded and jacked as ever. Just on the roll of a lifetime. Nice match on paper. Storm, another young guy rebuilding the roster. We get some feeling out, quick back and forth. The control holds. Storm cranks a side headlock, leads into a quick flurry. Ends in a Storm standing drop kick to stun Candido. Candido rages back. Storm grabs the arm and works away, but Candido pushes free, lays in some nasty chops. Storm leapfrogs 2 charges, but Candido hits a shoulder block, tries a victory roll. Candido counters to a powerbomb. Candido keeps the pressure on, cuts off a couple of comebacks. Storm catches Candido a spin heel kick, follows a springboard plancha to the floor. Candido slugs Storm into the railing, buries him on the baseball slide that knocks him into the crowd. Candido goes up top, flies off the barricade into Storm in the crowd with a wild bump. After the break, Candido snaps off a power slam and drops an elbow for 2. Candido slams Storm, heads back up top. It's a swan dive headbutt for 2. Goes to a chin lock. Storm, it's another leg lariat. They trade punches with Storm planting Candido at the end. Storm lands a standing drop kick and follows with a cartwheel splash and missile drop kick for 2. Candido kicks Storm in the gut, gets a powerbomb for 2. Storm knocks Candido off the top and gets a sunset flip. Candido falls forward for 2. Storm gets 2 on a back elbow, whiffs on a springboard clothesline. Candido snaps off a German for 2. Storm blocks a back suplex into another lights for 2. Candido cuts him down with a clothesline, pile drives him, goes up top, but Storm crotches him. Candido recovers. He drags Storm to the top and finishes with the blonde bombshell and an awesome finish to a great match. It was crisp. It was clean. It was hot. It was well worked. These guys are in-ring studs. No bullshit at all. Just balling out with a couple of nice high spots and an engaged crowd. Candido's just been fantastic. Storm is building a resume. The future of ECW is, again, continuing to develop. Loaded with young, hard-hitting, tight workers, killing it, filling up the card. So Jenny went 3.5. I really like this match, and Candido keeps rolling on.
Dude, another fucking banger. I did 3 3/4. Like,
yeah, it was great.
As much as I hate Lance Storm's hair, you cannot deny that fucker can fucking go. Like
I think Josh Richter had that same ducktail at some point.
Well, I believe that. Good chemistry. They're evenly matched, back and forth. It was anybody's match really. Like I was leaning Candido, but really Storm could have stole it from him easily. That baseball slide and then that dive into the front row. I was sick. Good punches, kicks, like the same speed and intensity as the previous match. With another really good finish. So they really worked their asses off for this one, Matt.
Yeah, this was a fantastic match. I went 3.5 on it. Just the thing that really stuck out to me during this was the pacing. I mean, they just didn't stop for 15 fucking minutes. They just kept going and kept trying to outdo one another, and it was fantastic. I mean, it's just the future is very bright for ECW if we keep getting matches like this every week, like this and the previous one every week. But you're right, Jenny. Lance Storm absolutely has to do something with that hair, because holy shit. Between the jorts and the hair, this is a very 90s episode of ECW 90s. Hardcore TV. There's no shortage of choices, but yeah, I mean, this is just fantastic. That super bomb is just such a great move, and it looks great every time. It doesn't matter who he hits it on, whether it's Spike, Storm, anybody. So yeah, just an awesome match. So 3.5 for me.
Storm leapfrogs Candido, and then he bounces, and then he jumps and lands on Candido's shoulders, like with his back to him.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah, crazy.
They're great.
That's really wild.
All right, let's go to our main event, and that is Tommy Dreamer and Beulah McGillicuddy taking on Rob Van Dam and Bill Alfonso. After the break, RVD and Fonzie strut out for their match. RVD grabs a mic and says this is the most ridiculous match he's ever been in, and he's embarrassed to even be at the ECW arena. Joey says ECW always calls the bluff. If you want to leave, just go. RVD says Fonzie can either take Beulah out in the match or get in line with the rest of the boys backstage. Tommy comes charging in, hammers at RVD, and knocks him outside. Tommy follows and hotshots RVD on the railing, crotches him on it. Tommy goes up top with a chair, comes down onto RVD on the railing. Back inside, Dreamer neck snaps RVD into a chair. His music is still blasting and finally fades as Tommy sets up an open chair, hits a springboard back elbow. Jeff Jones is our referee, pulls a chair from Tommy. Tommy sends him flying and hits a DDT on RVD. Tommy goes up top and hits a frog splash. Sabu is back in, kicks Tommy. They rattle him with a stereo drop kick into chairs against his head. RVD kicks another chair into his face as Sabu and Fonzie set up a table. Sabu lays Tommy on the table, and him, Fonzie, and RVD all go up top, with RVD and Sabu leaping and putting Tommy through the table. We get quick highlights of the Sandman Sabu finish as RVD gets a mic and puts himself over, says he has better things to do, tells Fonzie to get this piece of Beulah, and then he can tell him about it later. After a break, Tommy's being taken out by a group of wrestlers and officials. RVD and Sabu are gone, and we have just Beulah and Fonzie in the ring. Fonzie shows Beulah around. Beulah pulls a cookie sheet out from under her shirt, smashes Fonzie with it, and poses in her sports bra. Fonzie is sliced open as Beulah dumps him on the floor. Beulah throws him from rail to rail, shoves him back inside, goes to hit him in the frying pan, but Fonzie hits her low and the leg drops her vagina. The wrestlers at ringside are cheering on Beulah as Fonzie chokes her with his whistle strap. Fonzie slams Beulah. Beulah blocks a suplex and DDTs Fonzie for 2. Fonzie whiffs on a clothesline. Beulah nails him with 1 and then sits on him in the corner, but Fonzie gets up and chops her hard. Beulah has Fonzie's blood all over her as Fonzie goes up top, but she crotches him and falls back into the tree of woe. Beulah dropkicks a chair into his face, which was stiff as fuck. Beulah goes up top. Fonzie walks over to powerbomb her, but she counters with a Rana for the win and huge pop. Tommy and Beulah celebrate as Fonzie's bleeding out and stooging all over the ring. Look, this is basically a squash at an angle. Tommy has a good offense until Sabu attacks, and that was really well done too. With RVD and Sabu as presented as a lethal team. But the Beulah Fonzie stuff was legendary. The fans are super into it. Fonzie finally gets some payback. Beulah lets loose. Awesome atmosphere. The wrestlers cheering her on. An unexpected war. It's always something new with ECW, like just madness. Beulah rocked it. Like I said, it's a famous match with Fonzie bleeding out. The peak of Beulah at ECW Arena so far. So Matt went 3.5 stars. I think it's a very iconic moment in match. We could talk about kind of what led to it after, but as a moment, it's pretty top notch. As a match, it's really good.
Yeah, this is wild stuff. I went 3.5 on it, like you two. I mean, just everything about this match was pretty much spot on. Just everything was great. The RVD Dreamer stuff was really well done. RVD leaving Fonzie to do the dirty work, I thought was a nice touch because he doesn't want to get hurt because he's Mr. Monday Night. He's going to be on TV and all that shit.
Things to do. Yeah.
Right. I thought that was really well done. And then Fonzie and Beulah just fucking kill each other. Fonzie with an unreal blade job, just blood pouring all over his face. Like you couldn't tell he had a face under there. It just looked like red. It was ridiculous. And like you said, it's an iconic moment for ECW, and it's really well done. The crowd is fucking insane for all of this. So the finish was great. Beulah being able to hit the Rana on Fonzie, and even Fonzie did pretty well too. I mean, he hit the suplex and sold his ass off. Well, I mean, he probably wasn't selling. He came close to bleeding out,
right,
for fuck's sake. Yes. But yeah, and there's some interesting stuff with Fonzie too. After this, I don't know if you were going to get into that regarding the Fonzie backstage stuff.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, well, let's let Jenny give her thoughts. And
right. I wasn't sure if you were going to mention that. So, but yeah, 3.5, just fantastic stuff.
I don't know what else is going to take to get 5 stars out of y'all because she was fucking amazing. Like Tommy, whatever. I don't know, whatever they did, that's fine. But when she pulled that cookie sheet out, I was on the floor. Like they just fucking went for it. Like they just balled out like all of these months, and his face covered in blood. The whole ring is covered in blood. She's covered in his blood. He chops her across the fucking chest. Like they just have a fucking match. I was just dying. And when she hit the Rana and she wins, I was sobbing. I was crying. I cried at the end of this match. Not even lying. I couldn't believe it. Like it was just, I don't know. I'd never heard of this. I didn't know this happened. Was not expecting this in any way. I can't believe that Fonzie worked a 5-star match.
There it is.
Legit. Yeah. It was awesome. Like I can't. It was, I loved it. I want to see Beulah in more matches.
Do you? Or is it like, this is, sometimes you want to just take what you get.
No, I don't know. Not me. I always push it. I always want more. So.
What'd you think of that? Not what you think, Matt, but what do you want to talk about the backstage stuff?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I want to hear the story.
So, and maybe you know exactly what it was, but somehow Fonzie was involved with the Todd Gordon thing. And basically, Heyman was going to fire his ass. But this performance saved his job. Because it showed his dedication to ECW, bleeding out for the company. So Paul basically let him keep his job because he was going to be fired. But
that's 5 stars. That's a job-saving match right there from Fonzie.
Yeah, he was working with Gordon as part of the mole stuff and all that. But yeah, they. I guess he didn't have the deal. I think Gordon didn't he actually go to WCW? I guess Fonzie didn't have the same deal. Maybe he was hoping to get one. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But, yeah. But that's definitely how it went for sure. That's how I knew it. That this match saved his career because he just went out there and had this fucking insane
wild.
angle
That's
with
wild.
Beulah.
Damn it.
He's such a big part of like the whole
respect
package
for him
too.
now.
Well,
it's
like
really
imagine
sucked.
him leaving with this like RVD angle going on. Wouldn't be.
Right.
I mean, it would still
Yeah.
be great, but he's such a big part of that unit.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm trying to look real quick to see if it said exactly. Yeah, it doesn't really. It just says
Right, it just
he
says
lost
he was a
1/3 of the
positive.
blood in his body.
Oh fuck!
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty bad.
He was like he fell all over those ropes, and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I was like, look at him selling. But now I'm like, oh my god, he was fucking dying.
Selling,
Um,
dying.
Same thing. Another part of this is when Tommy comes out at the end, and he's just like hugging on Beulah, and then she goes out and does like the pose. Pfft, I was a wreck, total wreck.
It was good. All right, let's get to our awards. Best match, obviously, I think it's the main event we just talked about.
Yeah.
Main event, yes.
Mhm.
Worst match, I mean, incredible Lynn, I guess, which is
Right.
crazy.
So weird.
Nope.
Best moment, I went with the Beulah Karana. That was kind of the highlight of everything going on in that chaotic nonsense.
She did it so good.
Mhm.
I don't know, that cookie sheet moment really set off the whole thing,
Yeah,
though.
that was really good too.
It's hard to pick on this film.
Most 90s, I just went Jason and then Portuguese Man War.
The jorts. I mean, there's a lot. There's a
about
lot on this episode.
She was wearing that Nike thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that too. That like Nike sports bra thing.
Sports bra.
All right. Stock Rising. I'm incredible. Lynn, Candido, Storm, Beulah, and I mean Fonzie. I guess saved his career. So
yeah, everybody.
What a list! Out of nowhere, that list. You know.
Yeah. It shows the depth that they're building.
It does.
Stock Falling. I didn't have anyone. I don't. Everyone delivered on this show.
I didn't either.
Fantastic.
So we finally hit it. It was as good as it gets that night because they delivered all this stuff. We had last 2 weeks of episodes for us, which is like 7 weeks of TV, have all been good. This really blew through the ceiling. This shows that they still have it in them to deliver like red hot stuff. So I would 8.5 out of 10 on this. I don't know what, there's not much more you could want out of a TV other than like a major title change or like a legit 5-star match. Like I don't know what else really could get you, that this is like pretty near great, perfect TV.
Yeah, I'm going 9.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the 9 too. The only episode that I think tops it is the one that had Dreamer Raven, Sabu Taz. Like it's close between this one or that one for me, as far as best one I've seen.
I think we had one that was up there too, Jenny. Like I think it might have been before you, Matt.
That does sound right.
I think we had one that was like a 10. I think, did we have a 10 at one point? I think there was a 10
a random 10.
It was like 95. I think we had like a 10.
It was something about a gimmick though in that though.
Yeah. This was great. It was a great episode.
Yeah, it was really.
Double dog collar, maybe Pitbulls and Raven and Stevie.
Could have been.
Was that on Hardcore TV?
I'd have to look back. I know there was a 10 out of 10.
I never know whatever shows anything was on ever. It doesn't work like that.
All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're gonna have another 4 weeks of TV. We're inching toward November to remember, so we'll see how this all falls out. Check out everything we have to offer here at North South Connection. Appreciate all of your support here in the new year. Sure, check out NorthSouthConnection.com, new website, as well as our YouTube feed. You can watch more videos like this of our different podcasts and other clips as well. All kinds of social media that we got going on as well. So just keep an eye out. We're doing some new stuff and appreciate you being with us. Check out everything at this feed as well as PlayStation Wrestling and PlayStation Pop Experience. Stay extreme, and we'll talk to you soon.